So let's say there's a snake gets into the site. It's a venomous snake kind of slithering through the site. The cameras pick it up, identify it, and go, yep, okay, that's a venomous snake. We need to just maybe let some people know about it, see where it's gone. The dongas are what you call a Faraday cage.
They are.
And as a result, you get different difficulties with penetration and signal. So if you put up all the wireless access points outside, guess what? When you go inside and you shut the door, you get no signal. So one of the key initiatives that we're pursuing is actually a new initiative called Smart Site, and that's now starting to look at deploying sensors into rooms to monitor team member wellbeing. So checking light and ambient sound, temperature, movement. If there's a cyclone coming through, someone wants to be watching a movie, but they can have a little ticker that runs along saying, "Hey, stay in your room, don't go out, you idiot." And then also when it's safe to emerge.
Welcome back to another episode on the Gold Room podcast. Today I have the great name, the great man himself, Josh Newton from R Group. Mate, thanks very much for joining me.
Another great Josh.
Another great Josh.
Good to be here.
You like Joshy?
Josh is great.
Yeah, great. Same here. That's what my friends call me. Mate, well, look, we always start with the life and the times. You just said you've been watching a few episodes. Picked a favourite?
No, not yet. I've got to spend a bit more time looking at them.
Okay, beautiful. People ask me all the time, do you have
The
a favourite
Westgold
episode?
one was good.
Yeah, Wayne Bramwell, he's a bloody stellar bloke. Let's get into your life and times, mate. Take us back to the early years.
The early years of our group or the early years of Josh?
Josh.
Perth boy, born and raised. I was born in Kalamunda Hospital all the way back in 1978.
Shit, mate.
So
Perth Hills boy.
Perth Hills boy. Eventually drawn out to the coast by my beautiful wife. She's a beach girl, and so now I reside in the beautiful suburb of Mullaloo, very close to.
Oh, very nice, mate. I'm in Padbury.
Oh, there you go, not far from me.
Not at all.
Yeah, so that's where I started. Came through school, didn't know what I wanted to do.
Did you go all right in school?
I did okay.
Yeah. What high school did you go to?
Les Murdy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And then thought, I think computers. Computers are probably, they're an up and coming thing. Let's explore that. So I went on and did 6 months of computer science at Curtin University, and I hated it.
Okay.
It was not for me. I spent probably a little bit too much time in places that I shouldn't on the campus, and left after 6 months. Then banged around a little bit in a bit of public relations and marketing, and then worked in retail up through retail management, part of the Maya Group. And then out of the blue in 2004, my good mate Chris Markovic gives me a call and says, "Hey Josh, what are you doing? I could use a hand."
What does he do?
Well, he was the founder of the company.
Okay.
So he actually, all the way back in 2000, launched the business very cleverly on the back of some software that he'd written, which nowadays.
So he was your mate for quite a while?
Our parents went to school together.
Okay, yeah.
So we'd known each other for forever and a day. He launched this business effectively with this concept of, hey, you know what? We can actually run this software that'll allow us to log onto people's computers and administer them remotely before it was a thing. So, the catch cry back then was, whilst your other IT provider is telling you they're getting in the car and they're on their way, we're logging on right now.
Beautiful.
So that was a really big point of difference. He went through some turmoil. He'd launched the business, had it running for 3 years. Took his first real holiday. He was gone for a while, and unfortunately things didn't go well while he was gone. Came back, tore the thing apart, brought it back to just him, the original staff member who's still with us today. Gave me a call, and I joined the business, and there was 3 of us, mid-2004.
Wow.
Running out the back of his house.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
that's where some bloody great businesses have started over the years, isn't it?
Absolutely right. Some of the biggest.
Yeah, that's right. Mate, let's get into our group. Tell me, so obviously you know the early years. Take me back to the garage.
Yeah, so it was really a question of trying to kind of put the business together on the smell of an oily rag. Started providing services business to business. Started to pick up some fairly respectable clients. Before I joined the business, they'd picked up Lightning Nickel and were providing IT services for them. Since then, have picked up some fairly big name clients as we've gone along. In 2006 was a fairly big year for us. We acquired a voice over IP telecommunications carrier business, which is now a subsidiary called Arcom. We moved to a 24/7 support business, picked up Aditya Minerals Limited, so that was looking after the Nifty and the Mount Gordon copper sites and providing all the support and flying in and out of them, or as we like to call it, the Republic of Nifty back in the day. And then from there, it's sort of been going strength to strength. So increased our exposure to the resources sector as we went along. With the voice side of the business, we were contracted by a company called Resource Engineering and Design, RED, to do the Pardue village for Atlas Iron. I think that was, 2008, 2009? They realised that they'd actually missed the television part out of the scope of their contract, and they turned to us and said, "Hey guys, could you give us a hand here?" So we looked at it, took it on, rolled out an MATV solution for them, and went, we can do better than this. This is very low tech.
So what did that system entail?
So an MATV system is just a master antenna television system. So effectively, you've got one ingression point, and then that just distributes out over coaxial cable across the site. So it's just your regular old channels up and down kind of scenario. We then set about updating and building our own IPTV system. And in 2011, we won our first contract for Fortescue for the Gundamar site for 2 stages of 800 rooms each. So rolled that out to 1,600 rooms for Fortescue. And then since then, the relationship's gone strength to strength with Fortescue, and we look after pretty much all but one of their major sites now.
That's amazing. So tell me about what sort of systems are available through our group.
So for the mine sites there, the main systems that we provide are IPTV, Wi-Fi access. You'd be maybe not so surprised to know that some villages out there don't even have Wi-Fi.
I'm very well aware.
Yeah.
Or if they do have Wi-Fi, it's intermittent.
Yeah. There's a lot of design problems that go on when people are installing Wi-Fi in the camps. The dongas are what you call a Faraday cage.
They are.
And as a result, you get different difficulties with penetration and signal. So if you put up all the wireless access points outside, guess what? When you go inside and you shut the door, get no signal.
Yeah.
But we started out doing managed IT services and support. And we still do that to this day. So when we roll out an IPTV system, we've also got the guys there that are headquartered out of here in Perth, providing 24/7 support for them as well, directly for the residents.
24/7 support. That's awesome. How many staff?
60.
It's amazing. That's a big operation.
Yeah, it's big enough.
Yeah, for IT support, that's awesome. So with these TVs that you have in these camp rooms, what for a newcomer to the mining industry, not me, but someone who might be watching this, what's on these tellies?
It varies pretty substantially. So you can
Netflix.
Yeah, you can get Netflix. You can do casting from your device, so you can bring your own content to site and stream it to the TV. You can integrate it with menuing systems. You can integrate. We do a little bit in the aged care and hospitality space as well.
Okay.
So they might want to order a meal to their room out on a site. Someone might like to know what the menu options are at the mess or what's going on. If there's some social functions like a cricket game, they can advertise it. It can do emergency notifications. So if there's a cyclone coming through, someone wants to be watching a movie, but they can have a little ticker that runs along saying, "Hey, stay in your room. Don't go out, you idiot." Those kinds of things. And then also when it's safe to emerge, populate a site notice out as well. You can run online inductions and all those sorts of things through the system as well.
Shit, man, I wouldn't be doing a bloody online induction in my room at night time. You'd be doing that. I'd be doing that in bloody in works time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, mate. So I did actually hear a friend of mine that's working up north said they actually get notification that like a welcome to your room notification from the company. They also get a notification that pops up on the telly saying you're vacating your room tomorrow. Make sure you've got everything. This is your flight details.
Yep. So we can do all the same.
That's amazing.
It just relies on integration with whatever systems are being used to book and organise the accommodation and the flights. We've also just recently released a second screen facility so that someone can install an app on their smartphone and get all the same notifications directly to their phone as well.
Very smart, very smart. So when you guys are sitting down in these corporate meetings, who's coming up with all these ideas? You and
that's going to be my partner in crime, a guy called Bal McSoyne. He's our Chief Technology Officer.
Awesome.
And we've got a bunch of really smart guys within the office, the classic techno geeks who really love all the stuff that I went to study and decided I didn't like so much.
Yeah, okay. What does the office look like? Like, the pictures are, in my mind, I've got dudes and Sheilas bouncing around on those little bloody balls sitting around. It's not like that. No foam ball pits or anything.
No, we're not Google.
Yeah.
No, it's a pretty stereotypical office. We're set up in Technology Park in Bentley.
Okay.
One half of the building is a warehouse for all the project stuff that we have rolling through. So, big spools of fiber optic cable and, hundreds of televisions and wireless access points and all of that kind of stuff that sort of ships in and out of there. And the other side, it's all kind of corporate offices and meeting rooms and very boring stuff like that.
Okay. Let's talk about your path to COO.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So over time, I started out, when I first joined the company, my title was Sales and Customer Service Manager when there were 3 of us.
Yep.
And then over time, Chris and I talked about it and we put me into the managing director role. And then fast forward a whole bunch of years and Chris exited the business. He's still part owner, as am I. And we thought, look, we really want to try and take the business to the next level. We're really needing to kind of raise the profile of the organization. And so at that time, we brought in a chief executive officer. So we appointed a CEO. I took on the role of operations director at that point. We ran that for a couple of years and it didn't pan out. We didn't have the kind of success that we wanted. And so the CEO exited, and then Balmick moved from the technical director to the CTO. I moved from the operations director to the COO.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Pretty standard, really.
Look, my job role in terms of actually what I was doing day to day didn't change a huge amount. But hey, I got a lot of nice congratulations on LinkedIn saying, oh, fabulous on the new role.
Most important part, did you get a substantial pay increase?
I got a little bit of a pay increase at the time.
That's all right. Look, you got to keep everyone at home happy, eh? What's the reality of operations out on a mine site with installation? How long is obviously it's going to depend, but if we've got a standard, let's say it's a 200-man camp that currently has bugger all, but maybe a 30-inch monitor with a DVD internal DVD build system.
That's a how long is a piece of string question, Josh. So,
okay. What would be the road to success to get our group out there?
So we would generally go out there and have a look and see what is there.
Okay.
So it depends a lot on the cabling, what's in place. Some villages are pretty particular about the way things look. Some are not. So when we go in there, we say, okay, well, how important is the ambience versus the cost?
Yep.
And if they say the ambience is very important, then we go, okay, well, then we're going to have to dig and trench and we're going to have to lay conduit and cable and those kinds of things. If they say cost is important and we don't care about the ambience, we go...
Throw the Cat 6 over the roof, mate.
Well, no. we have professional standards. but a bit of cable ladder and those kinds of things will actually be acceptable in those scenarios, and that's obviously faster and cheaper when you do that.
Yep.
If it's a new camp, it varies dramatically, and it really depends on the EPCs and what's going on. We had a great scenario last year where we were all organised and primed. Our PM was all over it, organised our team to mob up on site. They drove 2.5 hours to get there, and there was nothing.
Nothing was there. No dongas, no nothing.
Nothing. No, they hadn't even finished civils. So our guys got back in the car and they drove back, and our PM had a very stern conversation with the PM on the other side.
Well, that's a bit crazy, Like, how about the breakdown in communication?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened
That's
there.
mining though, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, things move fast.
They do. Winning work with our group versus delivering work.
Winning work has really, for us, been largely around word of mouth.
Okay.
We've had a few stops and starts with our sales team along the way, but we've really been driven around reputation. That's been a really core part of what's driven us forward. So if you go and ask anyone what it was like to work with our group, I'd be very surprised if anyone said we were difficult to work with. I guess that's evidenced by the fact.
You mean from the client?
From a client perspective, yeah. So a lot of it comes in through referral and word of mouth stuff where someone says, oh, these guys over at our group, they know what they're doing. And that's really been evidenced, I think, with our long-standing relationship with Fortescue. So since 2011 through to now, that's 15 years of working with them as a major client. And they just keep coming back to us for projects and work.
Twiggy's done all right for himself, hasn't he?
He has. He's done it. Yeah. We've got a photo in our company library of Twiggy with his arm around one of each of our blokes out on one of the sites, which is cute.
Yeah, that's cute. That's real cute. Where do things go wrong?
Communication, when your client doesn't tell you that they're not ready for the the stage of works for us to roll through on. There's all sorts of problems, as you know, in terms of the logistics of getting in and out of the Pilbara, and what the timings are like. And if we ship up a container and we're missing a certain type of screw that didn't get packed in the container, well, then guess what? Then we've got to wait for that to get out to site before anything can actually be done. So logistics are really important. Communication and timing is really important, and of course, safety is super important. Making sure that we look after our guys and that they're following the right procedures, they're staying hydrated, because obviously it's pretty warm out there.
45 plus degrees up there.
Yep, and our guys, they do get some of the cushy time in the rooms doing the installs and the aircon, but running cables not so much.
That's right. Yeah. So I've done a few installations, camp installations, and it's all well and good when the door's closed and the aircon's on.
Yeah.
But when you're up on the roof and you're running cable into cable tray, it's can get a bit bloody hot.
Yeah.
People and culture at our group. You were
Yeah.
telling me you had a little brief conversation about that before.
Yeah, great question. Super proud of the culture at our group. It's something that we've really gone out of our way to do the right way. We've got a couple of finalist awards for culture and wellbeing excellence.
Awesome.
We haven't quite won any of them yet. We've always been pipped at the post by a much larger organisation. But it's something that, as a sort of a medium company, it's something that we've really leaned into hard. And I'm really pleased to see that there's been a few people who've kind of left us along the way for various reasons, personal, professional growth, or interstate travel, or because of their partner, or whatever their situation is. And I think there's a good solid half a dozen instances of people coming back and rejoining the company.
Awesome.
In some cases, more than a decade later, because they're like, yeah, I enjoyed my time there. I'll come back and do some more.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, sometimes grass isn't always greener, is it?
No, that's also true.
People need to go and figure that out.
Yep.
Beautiful.
There's been a few fast turnarounds along the way.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Joshy, let's talk about growth and scale. What does the next 18 to 24 months look like at our group?
Yeah, we're all about growth and scale right now. That's kind of the core part of what we're wanting to do, is sort of get out there and start building and growing further on our success to this point. Like I said, we've established a really good reputation.
Yep.
We know what we're doing out in the field. We can do this stuff pretty much in our sleep now. And now we want to get bigger. So one of the key initiatives that we're pursuing is actually a new initiative called Smart Site. And that's now starting to look at deploying sensors into rooms to monitor team member well-being. So, checking light and ambient sound, temperature, movement, all those kinds of things, so that you can get this collective data about people out on the workforce accommodation to see how they're doing collectively. Do I need to do a welfare check? What's the quality of their living looking like?
So like sensors to monitor movement in the rooms.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, absolutely. And then looking to sort of couple that together as a collective solution with things like CCTV cameras with a little bit of AI coordination and orchestration. So if you've got something that's an imminent threat on a site, then you've got the cameras automatically tracking to it. You've got notifications going out to whoever the most important person is to receive that, whether it's security or otherwise.
Wild dingoes? What are we
potentially? If
are
there's
you talking like cameras down walkways, cameras on walkways, cameras around?
Correct. Around the site where possible. If you've got pan tilt zoom, then that's good because you can then coordinate and orchestrate for them to track towards where's the path of the. So let's say there's a snake gets into the site. It's a venomous snake kind of slithering through the site. The cameras pick it up, identify it, and go, yep, okay, that's a venomous snake. We need to just maybe let some people know about it, see where it's gone, and then they can organise someone to get in and move it if they need to.
Amazing technology. That's amazing. Yeah. So you guys are really leaning into the AI software development.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to do all the orchestration coordination side of that piece, and then to collate the data in a way which it can interpret and make sense of it, so that if there's something to be concerned about, or if someone hasn't moved for a very long time, maybe we need to go and organise a welfare check on that individual. Yeah,
that's great. That's actually amazing. Industry outlook. where do you see the industry heading in the next 18 months?
Resources has always been a boom and bust cycle, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, we've been in it booming for a while now.
Yes, yeah, we really have. And it's interesting looking at the kind of the global geopolitical situation and what's going to happen with rare earth deals. We've just inked a new free trade agreement with European Union. So there's some good indicators that things are going to continue to strengthen over the coming years.
Strengthen, as well as the price of diesel going through the bloody roof.
That is a challenge.
Yeah.
No question there. I came out of a meeting this morning where we're starting to talk about, okay, do we need to consider a little bit of a partial work from home strategy for some of our staff just to take the sting out of the cost of getting to and from the office?
Yeah, I can only see more and more businesses looking at that as time goes on. Hopefully it doesn't continue for too long. We've got utes and trucks on the road.
Yeah.
Ourselves, we don't want to be.
Yeah, and I'm driving around in a diesel, so that hurts.
Yeah, mate. Last question for you is: what's the best advice that you've ever heard? That you've been given by anyone?
Don't sweat the small stuff. It's really simple, and keeping a positive outlook. I was reading a book many years ago. I can't even remember the title of it, but it was all focused on gratitude. And so part of my my morning ritual when I get to the office is I've got a little stone on my desk that I just touch. And that's my little trigger to go, what am I grateful for? And I think about my kids, my wife, my health, the beautiful place that I live, and that makes it a lot easier to get through every single day.
Yeah, that's magic, Joshy. I've actually got it's just recently been put there, but I've got this little gold pin that I was given. It's a gold pin of Australia. It's God's country, mate. So I've been doing the same thing. I get in and I just move it along and proud as bloody punch to be sitting here.
Love it.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Look, thank you very much for your time. As I said before you came in, like Angela teed this up. She's new to the company, new to our group, but she's
a year in.
Relatively new compared to your stint there.
Yeah, to my grizzled veteran status. Yeah.
So I'd never heard of our group, but you guys are doing amazing things, and I can't wait to watch the progress and the build for the company.
Outstanding. Thanks so much for having me on.
Not a problem. Thank you very much for tuning into another episode on the Gold Room Podcast. It was awesome to sit down with Josh. If you like this episode, make sure you click subscribe down below. Thank you.